Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer, and we are up to the nines. We are blasting through the cards of life. So here's the general reading about the nines. In the natural course of the cycles of all things, both living and inanimate, there comes a time of dissolution and ending. In the course of a lifetime, we will pass through many such cycles with things such as relationships, ideas, jobs, living locations, and personal possessions. In all things will be a beginning represented by an ace and an ending represented by a nine. All good things must come to an end. 9 represents the stage of experience where that which is now ending, it is much like a graduation in high school. During that year, we're still in school, but there is a knowledge that everything that has been will be gone after the year is up. How sad. It is much of a year of farewells as it is celebrating our accomplishment. Graduation can be a cause of celebration or sadness or concern for the future. As with all things, our personal attitude determines how it will be experienced by each of us. Being born a 9 is like having an entire lifetime that is like your senior year of high school. The lifetime of a 9 marks an ending of a great cycle in a person's evolution, one in which was learned and gained by the individual, but also one which is now complete and must be allowed to fade out into preparation for a new cycle to begin. During their lifetime, the 9s will inevitably have to say goodbye to people, things, ideas, lifestyles, and ways of communicating that have reached the end of their usefulness in their lives. But whether the lifetime is looked upon with joy and celebration or sadness and feelings of loss and trepidation about the future will depend on each individual. 9s follow the 8s numerologically. You know me and my pronunciation, sometimes a little creative. 8 represents the point of fullness, the harvest season in cycle from 1 to 9. Once we have tasted the fullness of the 8s and harvested it for its value, we enter the 9 stage of death and decay. Being a 9 is sort of like a field of wheat that has already been harvested. There is nothing there but the remnants of the bountiful crop. This is kind of sad. I'm not loving that. The suit of 9 person will give us insight into the area in which they have reached a point of fulfillment. For the 9 of hearts, there is the completion key when it comes to romantic relationships and relationships in general and ways of loving others. The 9 of clubs will let go of beliefs, ideas about life and themselves, and they will find ways of communicating with others. The 9 of diamonds will find things and people they value will be taken away or at least need to be released. The 9 of spades in many ways has the strongest burden. They need to sublimate their will to the will of God. They will have to let go of their power struggles with others as well as things being related to their lifestyle, health, and occupation. Like a person who is moving to a new house and holding a garage sale or a yard sale while they sell their possessions at a fraction of what they are worth, the 9 person will be giving things away throughout their life. Indeed, a 9 is never truly fulfilled unless they find ways to give of themselves to others. Many of them take this to the highest level, and some become saviors of humanity. Many great spiritual leaders and teachers have 9s as their birth cards. Often it is their utter frustration with all the disappointments in their personal lives that motivate the 9s to take such cosmic or universal work. In many ways, the 9 is the opposite of the ace. Whereas the ace actually needs to be selfish and self-centered, the 9 cannot. Each time the 9 tries to do things just for themselves, they reap untold misery and pain. It simply goes against the grain of their soul's essence. 9, in the second and the last is the second and the last of the spiritual numbers, 7 being the first. Like the sevens, the 9 must follow a higher path to be completely fulfilled. And often this path is exactly opposite of what is believed and taught in our society, who tries to approach life in a traditional manner and meets up with repeated failure. The conscious ones can catch on quickly and realize that they are different and that they need motivation in order to have a successful life. 9s can develop strong victim-savior complexes, and all of them exhibit this to some degree. The 9 represents the letting go of our personal desires and identity and merging ourselves into the universal consciousness. In this regard, the 9 person often identifies themselves with great purpose, that of saving the world in some way instead of just thinking of themselves and their own personal needs. The 9 person now identifies with the world at large. In their 9ness, Piscean manner, they go about trying to save people in their world. They're often soft-hearted and gentle, and they are there for you if you need a shoulder to cry on or someone to sympathize with your problems. They will nurse you back to health, and they will accept you when no one else will. However, there are 2 big problems with the savior complex that many 9s have. First of all, it represents a complete denial of our personal power. In a 9 person, if they're out to save you, they're in effect telling you that you're incapable of saving yourself. Whether these words are actually used or not, that's the underlying message of saviors of all kinds. Secondly, in most cases, the 9 person has not yet resolved their internal conflict about their own personal needs and the needs of the world that they feel compelled to resolve as part of their life's work. A lot of confusion can occur for a 9th person because they have a hard time separating their personal motives from their universal motives. This often creates a scenario where the 9th person professes to be motivated from the purest of intentions, such as saving the world or saving individuals, when the truth, they're often selfishly motivated. Just like the rest of us, 9s get afraid, and some of them thirst for power, fame, or wealth. 9s get afraid. Ultimately, their true motivations are revealed, or the person they're trying to save resents being labeled a failure and rebels against them. There have been some 9s who genuinely make a selfless contribution to the lives of others, and all of them experience truly selfless acts at times during their life. It is the 9's personal challenge to make a clear distinction between their selfish and selfless actions, thoughts, and words. This is especially true right now as we end the age of Pisces and begin the age of Aquarius. The 9 energy and the Pisces energy are one and the same. The clarity of the Aquarian energy will help all 9s make this important distinctions in their life. 9s are accessing the power of letting go that is inherent in their birth card, are happy and somewhat carefree. They're giving and less attached to people and things in their life. They have a look of wisdom in their face. They understand life as no other can because they can see well beyond their personal identity to the broad picture of the universe. The compassion they exude is real and comes from having consciously passed through many endings. The happiness is real because it is not based on acquisition of anything or any person. It is because of the knowledge that they are in tune with the will of God and the cosmic flow. It's kind of deep. I don't know about this. I mean, like I said, some of it kind of resonates with me. Sometimes when I read these things about the other cards, I'm like, I feel like that feels more like me than my own birth card, which is the 4 of Spades, which I don't really feel like I'm much of a 4 of Spades. I gotta tell you that. I mean, I am stable and I'm a hard worker, but that's pretty much where that ends. All right, if you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below, share us with your friends, and stay tuned for the individual 9 card readings. Thanks for watching. Bye.